So in this week's visit with our Bears insider, Chicago Tribune Bears beat writer Dan Wiederer, we talked about how this team is handling this tough stretch.
Life comes at you quick, Lauren, and the Bears have learned that certainly in this last 3-week stretch. I think you've sensed a feeling of discouragement amongst players, particularly on the offensive side of the ball. They just feel a little bit lost and a little bit stuck right now. And I equate it to when you're working on a home improvement project and you're thinking, hey, I'll try this, and if this doesn't work, I'll try B, C, and D, and we'll eventually have the fix. And then you get to troubleshooting step F, and you still haven't fixed it, and you're thinking, oh boy, now what? Who do I call to get this thing fixed? That's where the Bears are at right now. They're a 5-4 team that doesn't seem to be evolving. And I think that comes with a level of frustration that they're going to have to work through to get this thing back on the right track.
And compared to the offense, the defense really has been terrific throughout this all, but they do have their own issues. Where do you see the defense needing to improve?
Yeah, it's tough because they have played well enough to keep this football team in every single game they've played through 9 games this year. They are still a very good defense. The area that you circle on the stat sheet and you say that's not good enough are the takeaways, right? And they are currently ranked 20th in the NFL in takeaways. They only have 9 this year. They have only had 1 in this 3-game losing streak, and so that's problematic. You remember in 2018, they were coming every week in piles, right? And that was really a momentum builder for this team. This year, they're not coming quite as much. They have 28 takeaways in the last 25 games since 2018. So it's really trailed off. Now, some of that has to do with the offensive struggles. You look at the losses to the Rams, the losses to the Titans. The Bears never led in either one of those games. And so now you're stuck playing the game on the other team's terms. And the opponents now can play conservative because they know you don't have an offense that can play catch up. And so if they get a lead, they don't need to take chances. And so the Bears haven't been able to turn loose their pass rush. They haven't been able to get a bunch of balls in the air that they can make plays on. They're going to have to figure out a way to get that takeaway faucet to turn on here in the last 7 weeks if they're going to stay in the playoff picture.
It really seems like this matchup is 2 teams heading in separate directions, but is it that simple?
Probably not. The Vikings certainly have found their footing a little bit the last few weeks, and they've certainly found what they're good at on offense, and that means, hey, let's give the ball to Dalvin Cook a bunch and just let him carry us to victory. This is still a division game. Matt Nagy is still 4-0 in his time against the Vikings, and the Vikings have historically had a lot of difficulty coming to Chicago for whatever reason. Even when they've had really good teams and the Bears have been really bad, the Bears have somehow found a way to beat them at Soldier Field. And so it's been a house of horror for the Vikings. It'll be interesting to see what happens Monday night because this is really 2 middle-of-the-road teams in a lot of different ways kind of searching for who they really are. Again, it's a division game, and if the Bears are very serious about staying alive in this playoff picture, you got to take care of business in the NFC North, and this is a big opportunity to do that.
Do you think that this game holds a little bit of extra importance because win or lose, it lasts an extra week heading into the bye?
Yeah, independent of the bye, anytime you're on a 3-game skid, you better find a way to get some positive energy back in your building. But to your point, if you lose this game and you're on a 4-game skid and now you have, another 13 days before you play again, that can be incredibly demoralizing for a team that started 5-1 is now obviously on a downward spiral. This game is absolutely huge for a lot of reasons for this team because 6-4 and 5-5 are 2 different ballparks given the way the Bears have gotten here. And so they've got to find any way they possibly can to win a football game. And it's stunning because this team was 5-1 just 3 weeks ago, as you mentioned, and now they go to Monday night as a home underdog to a 3-5 Vikings team. We never thought we would have seen that a few weeks ago, and so here we are. Bears better find a way to win a game and hopefully get some spirits lifted before they get that needed rest heading into the bye week.